Now on 4 News Now at 6, police cracking down on illegal camping. We ride along with an officer to show you how they're enforcing the city's new camping laws and trying to help people escape the streets.
Summer is almost over. Start of fall is going to feel a lot different than it does right now. What you can expect in your first alert forecast.
And the battle between Washington and Spokane over Camp Hope, who the state says is responsible for clearing the camp and finding shelter for the people living there. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Clearing the streets to keep your family safe. That's what Spokane police say they're doing downtown. They can now enforce sit and lie rules and have more power to clear camps. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Aaron Luna. Today is the first day with the new camping ordinance on the books. The city council gave police the authority to stop camping regardless of shelter space if they think it's dangerous for the person or the public. Tonight at 6 o'clock, Esther Bowers on patrol and shows us what police are seeing on the streets.
Sit and lie is more or less just a tool.
Officer Greg Thompson is using that tool to help people living on the streets find something safer. We started off in the back alley right next to Hope House.
Look how close we are to the shelter right there.
Yep, right there.
Some women told police they have a shelter bed but prefer staying out here instead.
I'll give you a ride out to the new trench shelter right now if you want.
This gentleman declined that offer and ended up getting arrested. Police say he had numerous other outstanding warrants. Officers say people pack up and move along most of the time, but that doesn't mean they're moving out of homelessness.
It seems like they're not really wanting to make the change.
And a big issue for officers is meeting the same people downtown. They just move to a different spot, and very few accept the offer to go to a shelter.
A lot of them are drug addicted.
Needles line the ground, and police say drug use is rampant. Officers are also using these patrols as a welfare check.
He was in the alley covered in a blanket, and he was covered in flies.
Police say that man was on the brink of death before they found him. So far, Officer Thompson hasn't issued a single citation. He thinks the new enforcement is helping clear the downtown core, but is worried about where it's going.
We're seeing those people that were in the downtown core where it's enforceable for sit and lie. We're seeing them move outside of that.
This patrol won't fix homelessness on its own. Police can't force people into drug treatment or into a shelter, but officers are still making rounds.
They more or less get stuck and they can't leave even if they want to.
Meeting people who Thompson says he wants to help find a better life so they aren't sleeping on the streets. In downtown Spokane, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Now to breaking news. The battle over how and when to clear Camp Hope continues. The state sent out a letter responding to the city's deadline to clear the encampment.
The state said in a letter the deadline is unrealistic. The state says the city has failed to acknowledge its responsibility for the encampment and unfairly blames the state. Vanessa Perez is live with what we know.
Well, the city and state continue to point the finger at each other for this homeless encampment. The state's 3-page letter details what needs to happen in order to clear Camp Hope. The city claimed it's the state's responsibility to clear the camp because it's on state-owned land. The city also gave the state a deadline to clear it, but the state's response to the city today was, you need to take responsibility here as well. The state says the first steps forward include fencing, RV removal, badging, and a curfew to address safety concerns. The mayor says this is the first time she's hearing about the state's plans.
One of the concerns that I know we do have at the city as well as the neighborhood is, as people are moving out of that encampment, how are we going to make sure that more people aren't moving in? And we have the same issue months later.
The city set a deadline of next month for the state to clear the camp. The state calls the deadline irrational, saying it sets up those living in Camp Hope for failure. Mayor Woodward says they can work together on a timeline and expectation. Now, the state agencies and the city are expected to meet sometime this week. We'll let you know when that is, and we also hope to have access to that meeting as well. Live in Spokane, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.
Vanessa, thank you. Well, last week I think we were ready to kick summer to the curb with all that wildfire smoke, but
yes,
these last few days have been awesome.
And I hear the next few days aren't going to be terrible either, especially heading into the weekend. Meteorologist Matt Gray tracking how close we're going to come at the end of the season.
Yeah, things are going to be quite nice as we head into the weekend. We'll get to that a little bit later in the program, but let's talk about what has been a wonderful couple of days in the inland Northwest and shaping up to be a really beautiful evening around the region. Low 70s right now as the sun getting ready to set. Those days getting so much shorter now as we hit the later days of September and in the last week of September as we get into next week. It has been a little bit windy today as we expected. Winds out of the northeast, and that's certainly one of the reasons, that northerly component to the wind, one of the reasons why we've had some cooler temperatures today. As for air quality, well, the windy weather has woken up some of our local fires, not nearly as nasty as Kirsten mentioned that it was last week or the week before, but we do see some moderate air quality around parts of the inland Northwest, especially in the Idaho, Palouse, and other areas south of Interstate 90, and we'll likely see some air quality issues again in Boundary County near the Kootenai complex, as that was smoking a little bit as of the last satellite check. Overall, pretty good conditions for dinner on the deck tonight. 60s falling into the 50s as we head towards 11 o'clock if you're going to stay up late. Now, as we head into the first day of fall on Thursday, we're going to be talking about some moisture headed our direction. You can see those storms in Oregon. We'll show you how that plays out as we enter the first day of fall coming up.
Matt, thank you. Now to some more breaking news tonight. South Hill drivers may want to take a different route to work tomorrow. Freya has been closed at Congress for much of the day because of a water main break, and it's going to stay closed until the city can make repairs sometime tomorrow. This is on South Freya between 21st and Congress, east of Lincoln Heights. The city has not said exactly when that road is going to reopen. We will be sure to update you.
A Post Falls man is now facing multiple charges for allegedly distributing child pornography. Post Falls police say they received multiple tips about 29-year-old Travis Dawson from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. When they searched his home, they say they found multiple underage pornographic photos and videos on his cell phone. He faces 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor by distribution and several counts of sexual exploitation of a minor by possession. This is a developing story. We'll update you as we learn more.
The Grant County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding a missing couple. Teresa Bergman was last seen at Spokane International Airport, and her husband Charles was last seen at his apartment on Arnold Drive in Moses Lake. The Sheriff's Office says they may be in a silver Chevy Impala.
It took a few years, but now all branches of the U.S. military have an official song.
And we're going to play it for you, at least some sections of the Space Force's new song, right after the break. Plus, the Eastern Eagles are getting ready to take on the Montana State Bobcats. After the week off, we'll explain what they're doing to prepare for this Saturday's matchup. Coming up in sports.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
Leave your piggy bank at home. Save your green at Jennifer's Auto Sales and Service.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
There are a lot of ways to deal with a stubborn drain. Call us at Mainstream Plumbing. Our high-definition LED camera can go where no plumber's gone before, deep inside your sewer lines to find the root of the problem. Call 866-411-ZAP.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
It's time to jump back into the gym and see all the new upgrades we've made over the summer with the most exciting offer we've had in years as we celebrate our 8-year anniversary with a Join Now for only $8 special offer.
Join the movement. BECU was created for communities like Spokane because we get what it means to be a Spokanite. We're locals who look out for our neighbors and strive to do what's right for our members. With convenient neighborhood financial centers, free ATMs, and 24/7 mobile banking, we can do what's right for you too. So join us at BECU.
I proudly served our nation and fought for freedom abroad. I never expected to see our temple of democracy ransacked here at home. It's so dangerous that MAGA Republicans, like Mitch McConnell's handpicked candidate for U.S. Senate, Tiffany Smiley, continue to question the 2020 election. Their big lie is a direct threat to our elections and our democracy. Join me in defending America. Say no to Tiffany Smiley before it's too late.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
It is National Banned Books Week, and tonight libraries across the country are organizing events that are having conversations about books and why they're so important to keep on shelves.
We've seen libraries in our region feel the pressure to take books off the shelves.
KXLY's Jordan Smith visited multiple libraries today to find out why these books are being banned.
Well, so far there have been over 680 attempts to restrict or ban library resources across the country, but libraries in our region, though sometimes challenged, are remaining firm on keeping those books on the shelves. It's a movement that's picked up speed over the past few years.
I mean, this has definitely been an unprecedented year.
Lord of the Flies, Fahrenheit 451, and numerous LGBTQ+ themed books have been targeted in both city and school libraries across the country. In August of this year, a conservative Christian group sought to remove over 400 titles from the Boundary County Library, though none of those books were actually on the shelves. During National Banned Book Week, libraries in our region are working to spread one message.
The theme this year is that books unite us, but censorship divides us.
In Coeur d'Alene, it's a similar mentality.
It's important to note that every family should be able to choose for themselves. Not every book is going to be right for every person, but we try to have something available for everybody.
It's paramount to us to keep, a wide range of perspectives on the shelves, and it's up to the citizen, the consumer, about what they consume and what they view and what they read.
It's a stringent process to get a book removed from a library. In Amy's time with the Community Library Network, they've had 5 books be formally challenged to be removed from shelves. So far, 0 have. And between January 1st and August 31st of this year, a total of 681 attempts have been made to restrict or ban library resources. Over 1,600 titles have been targeted. And if you're interested in attending one of these events during Banned Book Weeks, just check the website of your local library and you'll be able to attend that event. In studio, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Keeping an eye on our weather as the first day of fall is coming along. We're actually thinking that maybe next week is actually going to feel more like summer than these final days of summer have felt. So lots of ups and downs in your forecast, plus when you're going to need to keep out that rain jacket and how long you'll have to keep it out as well. Coming up.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
What do you get when ice cold beer, gourmet burgers, sports, and the Pint House brand come together? Good times. That's right. Pint House Burgers and Brews is now open at the former Good Times Pub location in the Spokane Valley. It will always be good times at the new Valley Pint House Burgers and Brews.
Community safety, accountability, and fostering success for those ready to accept help. I'm Deanna Kroll, and these are the values I will bring as Spokane County District Court Judge. For over 20 years, I've served our community working as a prosecutor, defense attorney, and for the last 3 years as Judge Pro Tem. I'm running because we can do more to keep our community safe and prioritize judicial resources. I'm Deanna Kroll, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid for by Friends of Deanna Kroll for Judge.
Joni here at Post Falls Volkswagen with this bold and beautiful 2022 Taos. But there's more than just good looks behind this compact SUV. This is the perfect choice because it's also practical and efficient, with driver assist and all the latest enhanced safety features. Plus, the Taos is packed with the useful high-tech features you use every day. If you're thinking of a compact SUV, think Taos at your nearby Post Falls Volkswagen, the home of 0000.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader. It goes like one margarita.
Bluebird in my heart. Baby, you're playing hard to forget.
The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to transform a home, a room, or a piece of furniture. No matter the project, the folks at your local Ace Hardware store are here to help you with all your paint needs. With our wide selection of premium brand paints and accessories, the experts at Ace will make sure you have everything you need to complete your paint project, no matter how big or small. Come see us today.
What's the only thing better than one Pint House Burgers and Brews? How about two? We are now open in the Spokane Valley. The same great sports and music videos, friendly staff and servers, gourmet burgers and ice cold brews. Pint House Burgers and Brews, now open in the Spokane Valley.
Well, what you're hearing is the newly released song for the Space Force called Semper Supra. It was written and composed by a former member of the U.S. Air Force and a former member of the U.S. Coast Guard.
We need to listen to the full song, I think. We just got a little taste there.
Yeah, well, we listened to some of it during the break.
Yes.
Very well written.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of some of the old patriotic songs that I sang as a little kid.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, what do you think?
Reminds me of when I was in band class.
Yeah.
You know, got the full concert ensemble.
What is
going.
the little flute called?
The piccolo.
Piccolo.
Yes, I thought I heard some of that in there.
You got to have the piccolos.
What was your instrument?
I was a saxophone player.
Oh.
So not a traditional classical instrument. A little strange, but you know, we did the jazz band thing, we did the marching band thing. It was fun.
Strikes me as a soulful weatherman.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and I would sound like a dead goose if I was playing now. It's been a little while. Well, let's head back down to Earth now that we've talked about the Space Force, and we'll talk about something that I'm really excited for. It's been a while since we've had meaningful rain. Yeah, we've had sprinkles, but come on. We all know that doesn't really count. Got a really good shot here on Thursday, 80%. I have not put something like that up on the board in a long, long time. So let's get this fall storm season started off right, and let's get some of these little smoldering fires around the region. Let's get some of those put out, shall we? It's all because of this storm, which has been soaking California and southern Oregon. That's certainly helping fire crews there over the past couple of days. Brought a little bit of rain to us over the past weekend. Here is how things are going to go down. Pretty quiet on Wednesday, but Wednesday night, that's when things change. In fact, around the LC Valley, the Camas Prairie, could be as early as 6 or 7 o'clock that we start to see some rain begin to work its way up. Maybe even hear a few rumbles of thunder in there as well. Now, this is about 11 p.m., so 10, 11 o'clock. I think that's about the earliest time we could see rain begin to pull into the I-90 corridor between Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. And then the rain just kind of swirls around through the night and through the morning. We're expecting the wettest period to be on Thursday morning. So that's when you're going to want the umbrellas, the raincoats, the rain boots even, especially for our friends in North Idaho, as you are going to get the bulk of the wet weather from this system, regardless of the exact track of how it goes. Now, by the evening, it's out of here. And in fact, I expect things to start drying out slowly but surely as we get through the afternoon on Thursday. Now, as far as rainfall goes, there's going to be quite a difference. The further west you go, and you notice here in this rainfall model projection, not so much for the West Plains, but as you head further to the east, well, we could see a ½ inch, maybe even more around parts of Kootenai County. So some get a lot, some get a little, and in the case of Central Washington, some probably get none, but we'll kind of see how the track of the storm goes in. One little wiggle can make a lot of difference. As for your day tomorrow, the last official day of summer, things are going to be pretty quiet. A little light breeze, 60s as we head towards midday, 70s in the afternoon, clouds starting to build a little bit, and that'll continue. As we head on into the evening. Cool, comfortable, even downright chilly temperatures. Look at Colville down into the mid-30s again. 48 in Spokane, 51 in Coeur d'Alene. And for your afternoon, perfect conditions. Mid-70s, a couple spots getting into the 80s. Pretty nice to wrap up the summer season. And there is Thursday. We drop quite a bit, down to 67 for a high. Not going to warm up all that much on Friday. Still going to be cloudy. May see some showers up in the mountains, but not expecting all that much as far as the rain goes. Thursday is the rain day. And then look what happens for the weekend. The weekend is beautiful, but I told you it was going to feel more like summer next week. Look at this, 80s. It's been a little bit since before last weekend when we had 80-degree temperatures. Looks like it is coming back for one more round, at least as we enter the last week of September.
Wow, I still can't believe that. Back to the 80s, back to pools. I mean, get it while you can, right?
Yeah,
Enjoy.
yeah.
Well, after this past weekend off, the Eastern Washington Eagles will start Big Sky play at home against Montana State this Saturday.
And these two rivals have been the leaders in the conference in recent years, so a win would go a long way for their postseason hopes. Alex Crescenti has more from Eagles practice this afternoon.
After getting beat by 56 points just a couple of weeks ago down in Eugene, the Eastern Washington Eagles are back at it as they prepare for their first conference game of the season in a Montana State team that looks poised to return to the national championship game. So the Eagles know they're going to have their hands full on both sides of the ball on Saturday afternoon.
They've been really good for quite some time, and they've always won with defense. They've always kind of, especially the last 4 or 5 years, kind of leaned on the defense, creative in their run game because they want to establish the run and reestablish the run, and then reestablish the run again to shorten the game a little bit and play defensive football, play some knockdown, drag-out football.
Their interior D tackles are solid. They're really, really good. And then, yeah, they're a different team from last year because, I mean, I played them at Idaho. And, yeah, they're a different squad, but they'll still be, they're nobody just to, like, turn your head on. They're good. They're a legit defense.
This is good. Just to have this bye week and just regroup. And just come out and just be ready for Montana State and just play fast.
Now, these two teams met late last year in a back-and-forth affair that ended up going the Bobcats' way, so a bit of redemption on the line for the Eagles as they will look for the win on Saturday afternoon from Roos Field. Reporting in Cheney today, I'm Alex Crescenti, 4 News Now Sports.
Well, high school sports are finally returning to normal after 2 years full of COVID restrictions. How many more kids are trying out for sports, and what's back on the field means for some students?
Plus, doctors continue to learn more about the possible long-term effects of COVID-19, the link between Alzheimer's and COVID, coming up on 4 News Now at 6.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Thanks to Joe Biden, food, fuel, everything costs too much. His energy policies and massive spending spree are driving skyrocketing prices, fueling the worst inflation in decades. 2 years ago, we were a self-sufficient, energy-independent, energy-exporting nation. Today, our energy production has been crippled. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. Let's stop the spending free-for-all, let loose American energy, and fix inflation.
At Dishman Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep, during Ram Power Days, Dishman is offering extra savings and delayed payments with incredible financing options to give you more trucks for less bucks. It's the perfect play, brought to you by the All-Star team at Dishman.
Healthy communities need more than health care. This is MultiCare. We're here for you.
It's time to replace your old tub with a new shower. But you don't want the hassle or the worry of getting it finished. You just want to pick a style and relax, knowing that it'll be wonderful when it's done. Is that too much to ask? No, actually it's not. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
It all comes down to this, the Bachelorette finale, the final roses. What will happen? Now tomorrow morning, the first interviews anywhere after the high drama finale. Who will be here on GMA and what will they say? Don't miss this tomorrow on GMA.
Jennifer's Auto Sales and Service is going hog wild.
Take a look at this surveillance video that shows the moment a crane collapsed onto a woman's car in New York City. Well, the driver only suffered minor injuries. Police say if her car was just 3 inches closer, she would have been killed. What caused the crane to break is still under investigation. It's been 2 weeks since students in Uvalde, Texas went back to school. Parents are still grieving, demanding change.
Yeah, last night's school board meeting, families called for the school district to investigate all officers with the school and to better protect current students.
I keep telling y'all, this is like the third or fourth time that I keep coming and telling y'all that about the security. And all I hear is, we'll look into it. We'll make sure, we'll look into it. We're not gonna look into it when it happens again.
After public comment, the meeting turned toward the future, focusing on the design of the new school that will replace Robb Elementary. And that's the school where 21 people, including 19 kids, were shot and killed. Officials say there will be a community advisory board that will be made up of school officials, teachers, parents, and law enforcement to help pick the final location and design for the school. Construction is expected to be completed by October of 2024.
Well, people living in Jackson, Mississippi are suing the city for $5 million for the ongoing water crisis. The 96-page suit claims the city's water was not fit for human consumption because of high levels of lead and other contaminants, something one resident says she's had to seek medical attention for.
I've had to go to the doctor, get prescriptions because of this water. So quite naturally, and the weirdest thing, when I talk to other people, they're having the same problems too.
Other plaintiffs listed in the lawsuit described their hardships as financially and physically damaging for their families. The suit goes on to say the defendants' actions have resulted in residents without access to clean and safe water.
New tonight at 6, a Texas sheriff says he's opening an investigation into Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' flight with migrants to Martha's Vineyard. The sheriff says his office believes the people sent to the Massachusetts island were lured under false pretenses. Governor DeSantis denies the claim and today defended the migrant drop-off as a protest of President Joe Biden's immigration policies as border encounters remain at a record high.
I haven't heard a peep about all the people that have been told by Biden you can just come in, and they're being abused by the cartels, they're drowning in the Rio Grande. You had 50 that died in some shed in Texas. I heard no outrage about any of that.
Last week, the Florida governor promised to spend $12 million from the state's relocation program to send more migrants to so-called sanctuary jurisdictions, also calling the administration's process broken.
When asked about why the border is more overwhelmed under his administration, President Biden says the current immigration situation is different than what we've seen in the last few years.
There are fewer immigrants coming from Central America and from Mexico. This is a totally different circumstance. What's on my watch now is Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And the ability to send them back to those states is not rational. You could send them back and have them. We're working with Mexico and other countries to see if we can stop the flow.
There has been a surge in border crossings, a record 1.8 million apprehensions since October. About half of those migrants were immediately expelled. The other half are undergoing normal immigration processes.
An alarming new look at COVID-19 and its effects on the brain. Seniors 65 and older who have had COVID-19 may have a substantially higher risk of being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease within a year. In this new study, researchers analyzed the health records of more than 6 million seniors, and those seniors who got COVID-19 in the first year of the pandemic, before antivirals and before most people were fully vaccinated, had a much higher risk of getting a new diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease within roughly a year of their infection.
Of course, the one that's most worrisome is that COVID itself interacts with the brain and either accelerates or tips people over into a dementia kind of a profile.
While COVID-19 has not been found to cause Alzheimer's, the study's co-author says the research does show they are linked, saying the inflammation sometimes caused by COVID-19 may be a risk factor.
Well, a North Monroe business hit by vandalism. Why the owner says she feels like her hands are tied. That's coming up.
Spokane Public School says more students are signing up for fall sports this year compared to pre-pandemic. Find out why at 6:30. You're watching 4 News Now.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Home. It's both a place and a feeling. At yours, you strive to make new memories, create traditions, share stories, find the fun, embrace the surprises, and celebrate moments big and small. Memories are made at home, in every room, in every moment. Make your house feel like home at the Tin Roof.
Agriculture is the foundation of our regional economy. The Washington State Potato Commission proudly recognizes our farmers.
Washington potato farmers care about the environment. They strive each year for more sustainable farming practices by using the cleanest energy sources to power their packing and storage facilities and using more technology to water their crops, lower their carbon footprint, and grow some of the world's best potatoes. When you talk about sustainability, Washington potato farmers are already there.
A tribute for our great Northwest farmers from the Washington State Potato Commission.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
Every home purchase has a story. At Canopy Credit Union, we'd love to be part of yours.
And then when I came in here, I told him what I was trying to do. I was trying to, finally step up and buy a house. And it was this kind of overwhelming attitude like, yeah, we're going to get it done. Like, we're going to make this happen.
Whether you are buying, refinancing, or renovating your dream home, Canopy Credit Union has the options and expertise to help. Visit canopycu.com/story to apply online today.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
The pandemic has had devastating impacts on students' learning and their school activities, especially athletics.
But after 2+ years of being cooped up with COVID restrictions, kids are eager to get back to their favorite sports. We have some numbers to prove it. Take a look. Compared to signups in pre-pandemic years, 58 more students from the Spokane Public School District registered for volleyball this year, and 71 more students participated in football this year. Peter Choi talked to kids at North Central High School and explains why they're seeing that increase in signups.
Feels normal. It feels like my freshman year, start of freshman year before all this crazy stuff.
Ever since North Central senior Alexander Shaw was 5 years old, playing football was his life.
I've played every position. I've been the quarterback, I've been a corner, linebacker, and then I play line now.
He says playing football with classmates is his escape from stress and school. When the pandemic hit, the game changed.
Knee pulls!
Knee pulls! So did football.
A lot of the challenges were just communication and just teamwork. It was a lot harder to play as a whole group because you could only be with 1 or 2 people at a time.
His teammate also faced similar challenges.
Sometimes school could be stressful with homework and everything, and coming to football after practice it really helps a lot with mental health.
With no masking, no testing, and no social distancing, North Central football team saw large number of students signing up this year. The football coach says it's because of the desire for more kids want to be part of something at school after the pandemic.
We're always around 30 to 40 players. So this year, the big challenge for us was making sure that we had enough student athletes to fill all 3 teams. Unfortunately for us, we had a very large turnout. We've got close to 100 kids.
As Spokane Public School says, the number of kids turning out for sports this fall is more than pre-pandemic years.
I think it's just a lot more communication, and definitely the coaching staff. Coach Woods is very vocal, and he has a lot of connections with all the other coaches and players.
With more fans being back in games, students are excited to play a normal season again.
It feels like a family again. You didn't feel that 2 years ago, even a year ago, but now you can really notice it.
In Spokane, Peter Choi.
All right, Uso on me, Uso on 3. 1, 2, 3, Uso!
4 News Now.
Taking a live look over Spokane. It feels like fall. We are going to have our first Fall Football Friday officially this week because the first day of fall is on Thursday. A little bit of hazy skies out there. I'll talk about that in just a second. And let's look at our very comfortable temperatures as we get into this evening. We're starting to drop into the 60s in a few parts of the region. 68 in Spirit Lake right now. We've also dropped into the 60s in Post Falls and at Fairchild Air Force Base as we start our evening. In the inland northwest, it has been a wonderful afternoon thus far. Looks like we're shaping up to have a wonderful evening as well. It has been a bit breezy today, as you have probably noticed if you've spent any time outside, particularly this afternoon. Winds out of the east and the northeast, and unfortunately that has kind of kicked up some fire activity a little bit on the fires that crews are still working to put out, even though the weather has been much nicer in that regard recently. And so we've seen some fluctuating air quality. Coeur d'Alene down to moderate in the last hour. Bonners Ferry down to moderate air quality as well. And we're seeing some moderate air quality conditions from the LC Valley north into the Potlatch area on the Idaho side of the Palouse. We're going to continue to see this as we wrap up summer tomorrow, up and down, but only down to about the moderate range. Just some very light smoke in the region. Should be a very nice evening, and as we head into the early hours of the morning, temperatures will fall into the 40s once again. We'll even see a few spots north of Spokane and Coeur d'Alene get into the 30s. Now we have a busy end of the week coming up with some rain and then some very non-fall-like temperatures. I'll show you that coming up.
Thank you, Matt. A business vandalized in the North Monroe Business District.
It happened early this morning during the day, and while this isn't the first time something like this has happened to this business or to others in the area, small business owners are still frustrated. New at 6:30, Rania Kaur spoke to the owner and tells us why she feels her hands are tied.
This is what the owner of 1889 Salvage Company walked into this morning. Her window, both of them broken by a brick. Though she reported it to Crime Check, she says she's afraid nothing will be done.
It's just strange that would happen so early in the morning. I mean, why? You'd think of a crime like this at night.
8 in the morning. That's when a man threw a brick into 2 of Gina's windows. She knows it's a man, even has a description, since someone from the parking lot across the street saw it happen. While Gina tonight reported what she knew to Crime Check, she says the police have bigger fish to fry than to deal with the vandalism at her store.
It's expensive and it's discouraging because I'm just a small business trying to make a living and do things for the community. So, you know, it's discouraging.
And she's not the only one in her business district who feels this way. Coming up at 11, hear from another local business owner, why he says he's tired of self-policing. In Spokane tonight, I'm Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Every classroom in the Central Valley School District is now equipped with Stop the Bleed kits. Experts say someone who is severely hurt can bleed to death in as little as 5 minutes, but the average EMS response time is about 8 minutes.
Bleeding is the leading cause of preventable death and injury, and so if we can teach people how to stop bleeding, we can save lives.
Ready? Yep. Each kit comes including things like gauze rolls, ACE wraps, trauma shears. It's also a part of a national campaign called Stop the Bleed.
Hurricane Fiona continues to devastate the Caribbean, causing millions of dollars in damage, and rescue teams are working around the clock to help people trapped in the floodwaters. In Puerto Rico, close to 3 million people are still without electricity as officials promise to restore power over the next few days. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more.
Hurricane Fiona, now a Category 3 storm just offshore of the Turks and Caicos Islands today. Earlier, the storm slamming into the Dominican Republic, causing mudslides. And on Puerto Rico, heavy rain and winds, leaving at least 2 dead. More than 1,000 people rescued by first responders. This drone video from the town of Yaco showing the floodwaters.
In the metropolitan area, it's mostly urban flooding. But the southern part of the island is the one, and the western and eastern southern parts, they received a lot of rain.
Hundreds of thousands are still without drinking water or power. As of Tuesday, Luma Energy, the island's utility supplier, estimating roughly 7 in 10 customers are still in the dark, but promising the lights will come back on soon as crews rush to restore power.
Right now, our mission is really twofold: life safety
and power restoration. We are starting to see restoration numbers continue to tick up.
The territory's governor calling Fiona's damage catastrophic, saying it will take at least a week to survey all the wreckage. It comes exactly 5 years after Hurricane Maria, a Category 5 storm, caused widespread devastation to Puerto Rico, killing an estimated 3,000 people. Many Puerto Ricans still recovering from that storm, now dealt another blow.
We were able to work with FEMA to ensure that finally the reconstruction started to take off. Now with the Fiona situation, certainly we have to reevaluate.
And the White House confirming today the FEMA administrator is headed to Puerto Rico to assist in the recovery efforts. Hurricane Fiona is now forecast to strengthen into a powerful Category 4 storm by tomorrow. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Also new tonight, it is being called the largest COVID-19 related fraud scheme uncovered to date. The Justice Department announced charges against 47 people who they say stole $250 million from a pandemic program meant to provide meals to needy children. Prosecutors claim they created a shell company that claimed to feed thousands of kids every day and instead used more than $250 million to buy luxury cars, real estate, jewelry, and to fund international trips. We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
Including a look at the new art installation coming to Riverfront Park. And prepare to be amazed. We'll give you a sneak peek at some of the illusions coming to the Fox Theater this weekend.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
Thanks to Joe Biden, food, fuel, everything costs too much. His energy policies and massive spending spree are driving skyrocketing prices, fueling the worst inflation in decades. 2 years ago, we were a self-sufficient, energy-independent, energy-exporting nation. Today, our energy production has been crippled. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. Let's stop the spending free-for-all, let loose American energy, and fix inflation.
This could be the view out of your office window. Link Transit, serving the picturesque communities of Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Chelan, and many more, is looking for drivers to join our team on some of the most beautiful routes in all of Washington. Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team. If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
BECU was created for communities like Spokane because we get what it means to be a Spokanite. We're locals who look out for our neighbors and strive to do what's right for our members. With convenient neighborhood financial centers, free ATMs, and 24/7 mobile banking, we can do what's right for you too. So join us at BECU.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
The Last Beagle.
He is number 4,000 out of the 4,000 beagles.
Next, Inside Edition, 4,000 beagles rescued from a lab. You won't believe where they all ended up. Little Morty landed at a governor's mansion.
This was a mission to save this guy's life.
Then, Harry and Meghan. After the Queen's funeral, their return to California. Can the rift ever be healed? Watch the next Inside Edition. Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
Brand new tonight at 6:30. Right now, construction crews are installing the newest art piece at Riverfront Park. It's called The Seeking Place. It was made by Coeur d'Alene artist Sarah Thompson Moore. It's made out of perforated aluminum panels with inspiration drawn from the region's basalt outcroppings. The panel perforations cast light and shadows that change throughout the day. LED lights mounted along the top also cast light downward, creating a glow in the evening. Construction is expected to be completed sometime next month.
Well, one-of-a-kind magic shows making a stop here in Spokane.
The Champions of Magic are on tour. The group has performed across the world in front of millions of people, and you can see them this weekend at the Fox Theater. 4 News Now's Destiny Richards gives us a behind-the-scenes look at the magic in action.
The Champions of Magic are in Spokane this Sunday. A group of 5 illusionists will take the stage at the Fox Theater to perform mind-blowing magic tricks and death-defying stunts you'll have to see to believe. 2 of the champions, Richard Young and Sam Strange, grew up together in Oxford, England, and are known as the magic duo Young and Strange.
We used to do little tricks to each other. We used to try and outperform each other, and that would ultimately push us and make us learn magic tricks better and quicker than we'd ever done.
This morning, they showed us some of the close-up magic tricks that got them their start.
Very good. And Destiny, do you have a dream vacation destination, somewhere you'd love to travel to?
Italy? Like Rome, Italy?
Okay, very good. Because anywhere in the world, at my fingertips here, something amazing should happen. The dollar bill will magically change into the correct currency for a trip to Italy. These are euros.
Oh my God.
There is currently a very bad exchange rate for, actually.
After a period of sort of competitiveness, we decided it's best if we do magic together, and we developed a stage illusion act.
You can expect some of the biggest and most impressive illusions from Young and Strange when they perform with the Champions of Magic this Sunday at 4 p.m.
For 2 hours, you'll forget about everything going on in the world. You'll forget about everything that you're worrying about. We will take you into a world of magic and wonder. The kids will love it. I guarantee it's a show you will be talking about the next day. It's great fun.
For more information on the Champions of Magic tour and to buy your tickets for the Spokane show, you can see this story now on KXLY.com. At the Fox Theater in downtown Spokane, I'm Destiny Richards, 4 News Now.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Enjoy the natural beauty of Coeur d'Alene with our fall stay and cruise package. Book your stay today at cdaresort.com.
We are downtown this week, spreading the word about Findlay Downtown Toyota. Hey, do you guys know a great place to get a new Toyota?
Findlay Downtown Toyota?
Exactly! Hey, did you know you can jog in the Findlay Downtown Toyota? It's just a few blocks from here. Good to know. Hey, you guys heard about Findlay Downtown Toyota? We have. It's where we bought our new Toyota. Clearly, the word is getting out. If you're looking for a new Toyota, you can find it at Findlay.
Oh, life, we hear you beating out the rhythm of our days. We know you live fully. It's why we pioneer new treatments. Because when it comes to matters of the heart, you deserve world-class health care. Providence, we see the life in you.
Just Between Friends is happening this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Shop one of the largest consignment sales and get everything you need for your growing family. Unbelievable deals all at one place, only for a short time. Cash admission at the door. Go to spokane.jbfsale.com for details.
I was in my car with my daughter actually driving, and we were sitting at a stoplight. And I hear this loud screeching sound and then just a bang. My medical bills were close to $500,000. It was a lot of work. It was stressful. The stress alone of just keep getting those bills. This is past due, this is past due.
Albrecht Law has seen what happens when someone doesn't have a lawyer.
The whole team was amazing. I just felt comfortable knowing they were taking care of it.
You've got questions? Get your answers from Albrecht Law.
As a mother of 3, I know parents' frustration with school closures. Test scores have plummeted and child anxiety surged because we ignored the science and kept our kids home for far too long. While they fell behind, Patty Murray championed school closures and still fails to acknowledge her mistake. It's time to stop making excuses, actually listen to parents, and raise teacher pay. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message because our kids deserve better.
4 News Now, brought to you by Morningstar Boys Ranch and their annual fundraiser, Caring for Kids.
It's almost the first day of fall, and we have a lot of changes coming up in your extended forecast. Over the next 4 days, if you thought that it was cool already, well, let's take a look at this. We'll be down to the 60s for a couple of days. Reason why is that we're also going to have some cloudiness and some wet weather along with that. So a breezy night tonight, warmer as we head into Wednesday, just by a couple of degrees. We'll have a wet start to the fall season and those falling temperatures, and then we're going to heat right back up. In fact, there's going to be some days in the 7-day that are warmer than what we have seen for the past few days. As for tomorrow, not much that you got to worry about. It's going to be a really nice start to the day, 40s and 50s as you're getting up, heading off to work, heading off to school. 60s at lunch, 70s in the afternoon. Starting to see some building clouds, and we'll see that continue into the evening as temperatures fall back into the 60s. Here's the deal. We're talking about some rain moving its way up out of Oregon, out of central Idaho. Could be as early as 6 or 7 o'clock, say, in places like Lewiston. But it's more going to be likely around, say, 10 or 11 o'clock that we see our first sprinkles tomorrow night in Spokane and in Coeur d'Alene. The showers twist around the storm, which is the center of it's going to be tracking out this way. And so eventually by the afternoon, this thing is out of here. So on Thursday morning, that's when we really got to break out the raincoats and the rain boots and the umbrellas and whatever else you have in mind. Now, depending on the exact track of this storm, that could be a big influence in how much rain you actually get at your house. This is kind of the more western storm track, so that puts a little bit of rain in Spokane, not a lot. As you head further west into the Columbia Basin, we basically have not much of anything at all. So the rainiest parts would be around the Palouse, the LC Valley, and that kind of areas along and south of I-90, as well as Kootenai County, where we could end up with maybe about a half an inch or so. So there are also some other computer forecasts that are pushing this storm a little bit further to the east. And that eastern storm track, as you can see, well, that's not that fun as far as our rainfall chances go. In fact, it leaves a lot of us pretty dry. Now, you can see where I'm going if you've been watching this program. I'm definitely favoring the more westerly track, but your rain chances in Idaho are much, much higher, especially as you get along the I-90 corridor and head south, as opposed to the further west you go, the less chance of rain you are going to see. Still, got to be ready for it. Those tracks, we'll have to see just how it develops when it shows up. This is the best chance of rain, regardless, that we've had in a long time. And it's a good thing it's here, too, because, well, our fall is not going to start out very fall-like. Yeah, maybe for the first couple of days, but as you can see, these orange colors, high pressure, going to be dominating our weather into what it looks like October. So you see these high temperatures for tomorrow. You can see a couple 80s on the board. There's going to be a lot more 80s on the board in 1 week from now. Take a look at this. Monday and Tuesday up into the 80s, and if you're not in the 80s, you'll be darn close, upper 70s, and that's getting into that, say, 10, 12 degrees above what our normal would be for this time of the year. So after a pretty nice weekend, looks like it'll be toasty by late September standards, and that's after a much different feeling for Thursday and Friday.
Something to look forward to. Thank you, Matt. Well, brand new tonight at 6:30. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. This year it coincides with the rollout of a new 3-digit number for the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline, which is 988.
The Department of Health and Human Services says thousands more Americans are calling that hotline and getting help since the new number launched.
The calls won't stop for Alicia McGuire and Anthony Carroll, part of a mobile crisis response team in Maryland, who travel in person to the most serious of suicide and crisis calls. When we met, they had just returned from one.
The call you just came back from, harrowing, trying, difficult?
Not difficult.
Serious?
Serious. Yeah.
McGuire and Carroll are busier than ever after the launch of the new 988 Suicide Lifeline number.
This is for our mobile crisis team.
Erica Turner, who runs the Maryland call center, says she's seen a 30% increase in people requesting help since the new 3-digit number launched.
We were able to hire folks, we were able to train them and get them ready for the launch.
But all of that costs money. Turner was aided by tens of millions in new federal grants that accompanied the 988 rollout. But her call center gets a large chunk of its funding from the state of Maryland.
So if you were in a state that didn't fund you like Maryland does?
We would be struggling. We would be struggling.
This map from the National Academy for State Health Policy shows less than half of states have enacted legislation to expand funding for the new 988 Lifeline. Pennsylvania is one that hasn't, and it's straining smaller call centers in that state, like the one Julie Dees operates.
The funding that we're getting right now doesn't even cover the cost of our paid staff, let alone operations, training, that sort of thing.
Still, Miriam Delphin-Rittman, the Assistant Secretary for Mental Health and Substance Abuse, says calls, texts, and online chats are answered on average in 42 seconds, either by an operator in or near a person's area code or by a backup location.
Are you concerned that there could come a time where the federal dollars don't flow the way they are, and there are states that aren't funding this and some of these call centers wither?
It's always difficult to predict the future, but certainly what we're having discussions and working on right now is to develop a strong infrastructure.
But smaller call centers are worried if that infrastructure will hold, and Turner is anticipating even more people seeking help as more Americans learn the new number.
We want people to know just 988, just like they know 911.
Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's the season finale of The Bachelorette. That starts at 8 o'clock.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Next DT, Barbie news from Margot Robbie.
I think you're gonna like it.
Our New York night out with the all-star cast of Amsterdam, plus our exclusive on set of The Conners, talking season 5 surprises and returns. I was like, Then, Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest celebrate a daytime milestone, only we're on set.
This is Entertainment Tonight.
Next DT.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Biden and the Democrats printed trillions we don't have. The D.C. way. They spend, we pay. Gas and groceries are crushing family budgets. Kathy McMorris Rogers says, no way. Kathy's fighting every day to cut spending and get American energy back online. Lowering gas prices and securing energy independence from Russia and China. Fighting to hold Biden accountable. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
I seem to be having a problem with my heat. It seems to be making this sound.
Oh, no worries. We can certainly take care of that for you. At Mainstream Heating and Cooling, we speak your language.
You nervous?
It's finally here. My lifelong dream of being in the FBI. We got this. We're feds.
It's time to elevate your finances. Introducing Ascend Checking, the new free checking account from P1FCU that pays you dividends. Earn 1.45% APY on balances up to $15,000. Plus, get online and mobile banking and mobile deposit with no minimum balance requirements. Level up your finances with Ascend Checking. To open your account, visit p1fcu.org/ascend. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938.
The season is changing and fall is upon us.
So we thought we'd share some of our favorite activities here at Kerner Furniture.
Falling in love with the new sofa.
Falling asleep in the bedroom set of your dreams.
Our favorite activity by far is watching the prices fall during our 43rd anniversary sale.
Come in now and browse our selection of living room, bedroom, and dining sets, all at great prices.
Kerner Furniture's 43rd anniversary sale, happening now. Kerner Furniture, nice store, low prices.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ace Hardware.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, an apartment complex in Chicago partially collapsed because of an explosion. What the neighbors heard. And with shattered windows and vandalism, business owners on Monroe Street feel they're self-policing.
And here's your forecast as we get ready to close out summer tomorrow. And hey, just about perfect. Mostly sunny, 75. Nobody complains about sunny and 75 degrees, right? A little bit of rain for Thursday. And in fact,
I could complain about Thursday.
Yeah. Some people may be not ready for that level of fall weather just yet.
I don't want to hear any complaints. The Bachelorette season finale is about to happen.
Ooh,
get ready.
8 o'clock.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.